Hi everyone, my name is Chef Manuel Bouillet. And I'm Chef Alexis Bouillet. Today we're going to introduce you our Mojito mango tart. So if you're ready, let's get started. In order to start our Mojito tart, then of course we need to do the base of the tart. And here we're gonna start our pâte sucrée. The pâte sucrée, you will see we're gonna use a technique that's actually quite simple, very easy to make at home, and also you don't need that much equipment. So you just have to have a food processor, and then we're gonna blend everything together in the food processor. Over here, I already started to scale all my ingredients except the eggs. I have them right here on the side. So we have the flour T55, almond flour, powdered sugar, sea salt, and butter together. Then we're gonna have the eggs, and I'm just gonna combine everything here. So in this machine we just have like a blade, but you can also do it by hand if you do not have this kind of food processor. Then I'll pour everything inside. So the friction of the blade will actually generate some heat, and then we'll combine all ingredients very easily together. So you can cut even the butter as big pieces, not a problem. And then you will see in about like 10-15 seconds, the dough will be done. Of course, if you do bigger quantity, you can still use the regular mixer with paddle attachment and in a big mixing bowl. And then for the next step, after we blend everything together, I already prepared 2 baking papers ready to roll out the dough at a certain thickness. Okay, so now we can see that the dough is perfectly smooth and has a very nice texture. So then I'm gonna transfer over here on the parchments, and then we're gonna spread it. So over here we want to spread the dough approximately around like 2.5-3 millimeters, and then the best way, especially at home, is to do that between 2 parchments. In that regard, you put that in the freezer, and then later on you can cut any shape you want, and it will be easy and it won't stick to your table. Just a thin and regular layer, as you can see right now. Just the perfect thickness to do our tart. So then you can store either way for production into the freezer, or if you need to use it several hours after, you can still keep into the fridge. So now for the step number 2 of our Mojito tart, we're gonna do the marshmallow. You will see that this marshmallow is a little bit special. We're gonna make the recipe right now, then let it rest in the chiller, and then later on we'll just have to whip it. It will create a very light Mojito flavor foam. To start the recipe, over here we're gonna have first the water, and want to make an infusion with the lime and our lemon balm. So on my side I'm gonna just cut thinly the lemon balm, just chop it, and we let it infuse into the hot water. Okay, so then we're gonna use a plastic wrap to cover the top and let it infuse for 15 minutes. So here it's been 15 minutes. Then now I'm gonna remove the plastic wrap and then strain over here, but let's make sure to recalculate the original weight of the water in order to have a balanced recipe. And then I'm just gonna add some extra water to go at the original recipe. So it is now time, after we made the infusion, to combine together our infusion, of course, with the sugar and also the lime or lemon juice. So then after we'll be able under 40 degrees to add our rum mango. Okay, so over here our infusion with the sugar and gelatin mass have been well combined. Then I'm gonna pour that into the bowl on the side, and then I will finalize with the lemon or lime juice, and we will of course add the mango rum. So then we can just check it's under 40 degrees. And we can add now the remonge. So we suggest that you keep it in the fridge for several hours. When it's totally set, you can whip it. It is now time to use our pâte sucrée to line into our ring. Over here we choose a 12 centimeters ring. Those rings are perforated and that will be easier to bake our dough. So first I'm gonna cut the outside of the tart and then we'll cut also the bottom. That will be in two parts, then we'll combine together. And on my side I'm gonna just spray a thin layer of oil into the ring just to make sure it doesn't stick after the baking process. Then before to apply the band of pâte sucrée into the ring, we just need to make sure that it's slightly softer, just to make it flexible. Otherwise, it will break directly. Okay, so now the texture of our dough is perfect. Then we're gonna apply the dough inside the ring. And we want to make sure that we slightly press against the ring to do not have any gap between the dough and our ring. Then as soon as we have something nicely lined, then we can just get the knife and cut the excess. Then the side of my tart is ready. I'm gonna simply go over the remaining dough and then press to create the bottom of the tart. Over here we have the bottom, and then we'll slightly put the edges up in order to make it nice. At the end, with a small knife, we'll just remove the excess at the top, and then we'll just discard it on the side. Then we'll have a very clean looking tart shell. The remaining dough we have on the side over here, if you want to combine it together again, and then you can reuse it as much as you want. Over here, our tarts are now ready to go. Then if you want, you can place them a little bit in the freezer or even in the refrigerator, and then we're gonna bake them. Usually we pre-bake them at 150 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. Then we will apply the mirliton later on. We have already pre-baked our tart shell, so now I'm gonna show the mirliton and then I will show you how to pour this mixture into the tart shell. First, we will start over here with all the dry ingredients. We have the almond flour, cornstarch and sugar together. Then we're gonna combine them with the whisk. And then following we have the eggs, just whole eggs. So after mixing with the whole egg, we'll follow with the melted butter. So this mixture over here, it's a kind of almond cream in a way, except we'll have some lemon juice or lime juice at the end of the process. So this will bring you some extra flavors. Then we want to enhance the flavor of this mirliton, so this is why in this recipe we are gonna add some lime zest. And then following at the end with the lime puree. Also in this recipe, feel free to replace the lime puree by lemon, mandarin or grapefruit if you want. So as you can see, now our tart shells are pre-baked, so it's like a golden brown. And then I'm gonna start to apply some egg wash on the side, but also inside. This will help you to have a shiny side over here, and then also will preserve the tart shell from the humidity. So we just get some beaten eggs and then apply a little bit everywhere inside and then also outside. So following this process, we already made just earlier the lime mirliton, and I will pour 50 grams into each tart shell. Our tarts are now ready, so we're gonna bake them at 160 degrees Celsius for about 12 to 14 minutes. Okay, so now that our tart shell has been baked, we're gonna start the Mojito cream. To start this Mojito cream and to bring the Mojito flavor, we need to start the infusion in our cream and milk. Over here, we have the lime zest, and then we will have the mint. We're gonna chop it slightly. I'm gonna start to gently heat the milk and the cream first, and then as soon as it will be hot, I will add my lime zest and then also the chopped mint. Okay, so I'm now gonna place a plastic wrap on the top in order to let it infuse for 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, then now we're gonna strain and recalculate the original weight of the milk and cream. So now we're gonna be ready to use this base to make our crème anglaise. Alright, so we're gonna use the base of the infusion, and then I will start to mix with half of the sugar. And on my side, I'm gonna place my yolks with the remaining half of the sugar. So we just combine nicely the yolks and the sugar, and then we'll be ready to cook our crème anglaise. Alright, so now our infusion with the sugar is boiling. I'm gonna pour half over the sugar and the yolks. And then we're gonna place everything back in the saucepan. The goal at this stage will be to cook this crème anglaise at 85 degrees Celsius. So how do we know to cook this crème anglaise at 85 degrees Celsius without the thermometer? Then I'm gonna show you. Over here, if I start to whisk it, then I see that the custard is actually quite liquid, right? If I stop stirring at the saucepan, then you see that the custard keeps spinning. So over here, I'm gonna restart my induction, and then you will see that the more I'm gonna cook it, the thicker it's gonna get. What I want is to keep a liquid texture, however, with a little bit of texture. So I will know that it will get ready only when I stop whisking, the spinning will be slower than right now. But right now it keeps spinning slightly, and then really soon, then we see that the movement will be quite slower. Okay, so now our crème anglaise has been cooked properly. So I am gonna add the gelatin. So the gelatin is gonna actually lower the temperature and will stop the cooking process. Then on the side, we'll pour this custard cream over here into a separate bowl, and we will start to chill it. So after this step, we will cool it down to 40 degrees, and we will add the butter and also the rhum mangue. So I will cover it with a plastic wrap and then let it chill in the freezer or in the refrigerator. Okay, so now our custard cream is around 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. Then I'm gonna transfer here into a smaller pitcher. It will be easier for us to blend it. And on the side also we have the rhum mangue, which will enhance the flavor of the lime and also the mint leaf. Then we need to make a good emulsion in order to mix correctly the base of anglaise and also with the butter. So as you can see, we have a nice emulsion. It is shining and the butter is completely dissolved and well emulsionated inside. Okay, so it's time now to pour it in our baked tart shell. We can see that it's like golden brown on the side, and then here the militon is still slightly soft. And we're gonna simply pour the custard all the way to the top. So it's pretty interesting for the texture because you will have a very crunchy dough on the outside, a super moist mirliton sponge, and a very creamy lime custard, refreshing with mint and also the rhum mangue. After we pour the cream, we just let it set nicely into the fridge just for several minutes until it gets set, and then we'll be able to finalize with our marshmallow. Okay, so now our marshmallow is nicely set. So we're gonna transfer first to the RoboCoupe in order to make it really, really smooth. And then I will transfer right here in the KitchenAid bowl and then whip everything. So over here what we want is to have a kind of a smooth texture. And something not too hard but not too soft either, just in between. And this we're gonna transfer it now in the KitchenAid. So we are now ready to whip. You will see that this process might take between 10 and 15 minutes. Okay, so now let me show you the texture. You see, we will have like a very fluffy and white texture. So this is perfect. And then on the side, I have prepared some 9 centimeters ring, and I'm gonna slightly spray some oil to make sure that we can release the ring easily later on. I am gonna transfer my marshmallow into a piping bag and then pipe into my ring. Okay, so now it's time for piping. Okay, so now that our marshmallow is into the ring, it's time to place it in the freezer. Make sure that your freezer is nice and cold, and then it will be easy to remove the ring and then to place on top of the tart. Alright, so our marshmallow is now frozen. I already removed the ring, and then I'm gonna place it on top of the tart. And I'm excited for the decoration. I will just place some slice of lime and also some mint leaves. To finalize this Mojito tart, I will just zest some lime zest on it and then we'll be done. Oh, the cut is nice, huh? Yeah, you can really see like the dough is perfectly baked. Then we have the soft mirliton, the cream, and then the marshmallow here will be very, very soft. Cheers! Cheers! You really feel the freshness, right? Super refreshing for the summer is something perfect. The cream over here is really nice and creamy, and the marshmallow is really bringing some lightness into this dessert. This is what is actually highlighting this dessert. And also the RÉMY really add a certain kick to the lemon, so yeah, that is a perfect combination. It's like drinking a Mojito, right? Yeah, absolutely. We really hope that you enjoyed this summer like Mojito tart. For us, like the idea of this tart was to have something very like summery and that could represent an actual drink, but into a pastry with a nice flavor of mangue. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.